That's a great question. We do a lot of work with business people and we help them grow their revenue and their people. We believe that if we can help businesses grow both of those two things, that they make the community much better. We have a better tax base, there's less employee turnover, there's less unemployment, and people in the community are more satisfied about shopping in their community than going outside. And we can keep local dollars local. That's a big help. I think a lot of people would be surprised to know that the business partner I have and the brains of the organization is my wife, Holly. We've been married for 36 years and we have been business partners for 10. And I think people would be surprised to know that we've actually gone global. We've done work all over the world, just the two of us in our company. Well, we do have some good support people that we work with too. But I think that would surprise a lot of people. People in Youngstown may remember that I spent many years as a musician up there. I played in a band called Misty, the Celebrities, and a band called Hollywood, which actually had a reunion up there in July of last year. I think another thing that might surprise people to know is that I actually was a horse jockey. With a voice like this, I certainly wasn't a disc jockey, but I was a horse jockey. And so I've been able to do a lot of fun things that other people only dream about. This is going to be an odd answer, but in some ways, I'm kind of glad all of this has happened because we've always done it that way, threw it out the window and broke the glass on the way out. What I think we're seeing now is a renaissance, not of change, because change scares people. It's probably one of the scariest words in the English language. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to talk about some changes around here, and everybody gets nervous. But I think what this has brought about is a renaissance of growth. We're seeing people looking at doing things differently, being successful. I hate the term new normal. Every day is normal. It may be different normal from the day before, but this is what gives me hope. I'm seeing people being more adaptive in looking at ways that they can grow. I'm going to sound like an old man on this, but what does concern me is how there seems to be no tolerance for differences of opinion. Whether it's politics, heck, whether it's favorite sports team or grocery store or whatever. We used to be able to say, I believe this, and our neighbor would say, I believe that, and we'd argue about it a little bit. But at the end of the day, we'd say, well, why don't you come on over the porch and we'll have a beer? And we just don't seem to be able to do this. So I don't know why everybody is so angry all the time with so little space to say, hey, let's talk this through. Let's work this out. And at the end of the day, if you have one opinion and I have another, that's okay. I think tolerance for other people's opinions, I think would be very, very important. I think listening more and talking less would have a big, big impact. So much of miscommunication happens because people didn't really understand what other folks said. So we waste time. We have to do things over, or we come back and say, well, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that's what you meant. If we paid more attention to what people were saying, if we had better listening skills, I think the world would be a better place. If you're a young person entering the workforce, I would suggest that you don't necessarily go for money. You go for a place where you're going to be mentored, not a boss, but someone who's going to watch out for you and warn you about the quicksand and the volcanoes in your path. And if they're going to take the time to warn you about that, be smart enough to take their advice. I was blessed in my career to have some really great mentors who, even after I screwed up really, really bad, and they had told me, you're going to screw up if you do this. And I said, I'm bulletproof. I found out I wasn't. And so I learned, albeit sometimes the hard way, that a mentor who really had my best interest at heart was fantastic. And there were a couple of times that I walked away from higher paying job opportunities because I knew that the people I was working with really cared about me and were mentoring me, which allowed me to go for bigger and better things when I was ready. So don't forget, timing matters. It may be that you're passed over for something because the timing isn't right, and it's hard bullet to bite. But sometimes we have to say, "I'm not right. I need to grow a little bit." I'd probably have to buy a couple of boards from Lamar because I probably have a couple I need to put up here. Number one is trust God. Number two is it's not enough to be understood. You need to be incapable of being misunderstood. That solves a lot of problems.